Hey, it's me. Yeah, I'm back to make another review in chronological order, of course. Uh, it's a nice day in September, of course. Again, nice and shiny, as you can see from the back view. Uh, of course, everybody knows what I'm going to be reviewing, but before I start, I just want to say this is probably, if not one of the greatest Dragon Ball Z games ever at to date to be released in America, or at least reach America. This is none other than Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, the PlayStation 2. Sorry, my webcam is like a mirror. It reverses all views of stuff. Yeah. Uh, this game was released in 2004. There are many different versions of the game. Some have, like the limited version, has a 25-minute video called Behind the Screens, where it basically shows how much time and what the voice actors did, and what Funimation did to make this nice game for the American version. Uh, it shows the voice actors of the show, such as Justin Cook, Chris Sabat, Sean Schemmel, all of them, and what they did to make this like what the masterpiece it is. Uh, some of the limited editions include King Piccolo, uh, uh, like I said, King Piccolo. It also includes apparently some form of fighting Bulma. Yeah. Uh, Everybody basically knows that this is like the best overall Budokai. There was no argue for this. No argument at all. But this is the best Budokai. It might be the best Dragon Ball Z game. No, it's not really, but it's pretty close because Budokai Tenkaichi 3 I think is my favorite one. Doesn't mean it's the best because there are a lot of problems with Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And you will see that in my review for that game. To start off this game, the main mode, Dragon Universe, has to be the best story mode for a Dragon Ball Z fighting game ever. Until, of course, Ultimate Tenkaichi comes out. Uh, where it basically is a free roaming story mode where you take part of 13 different characters. Some are random, like you could do Broly, you could do Oob, Goku, Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, Vegeta, Gohan, in all three of his different forms. Uh, also, when you fly around the world, you could find the Dragon Balls, but also you could search around and get items because this is probably the longest story mode. It might be longer than Tenkaichi 2 story mode because there are so many things you have to search for and find that will help you out. And so, like exclusive limited capsules. Oh, just like in the previous Budokais, the capsules have been continued. Uh, there's also some form of what if. Uh, Depending on how your path takes you. Like if you visit certain points, say for instance you're Goku, uh, you might end up visiting Broly in the Buu Saga, and then after that you wouldn't even fight Kid Buu. You would end up start fighting off the Shadow Dragons. Well, there's only one in this game, which is basically Omega Shenron. But yeah, and then you would gain Super Saiyan 4 by a random three question mark uh, spot in an island where you would get Super Saiyan 4, but it was not how they did in the show. But this makes it a lot more interesting. Uh, a lot of what ifs include Oob against the Shadow Dragons, but this is Kid Oob. Also, what ifs include a what if Gogeta versus Gotenks in the World Tournament, a what if of Tien going back to the World Tournament, Yamcha going back into the World Tournament. Also, great things about this mode is flying around like who wouldn't want to do that in Dragon Ball Z? Uh, Also, this creates a lot more interaction in the story. A lot more like this game also has a lot more talking, voice acting a lot better voice acting than, say for instance, Budokai 1, which had terrible voice acting, sadly. And like, it also has an RPG element where basically you level up. You can increase your attack, your ki, all that stuff, and computers difficulty. Yeah, that's a great thing. This is probably by far the best Dragon Ball Z story mode for the fighting games. Of course, none of them compared to the Game Boy Advance and DS ones, which have probably a perfect story mode, along with some filler. Uh, the other modes include the tournament mode, which now has the Cell games. Everybody knows what that is. Uh, it also has, when you finish all characters Dragon Universe mode, you will get, I think it's what, Dragon Road or something like that. Yeah, it's a exclusive mode where you basically you can level your character up by fighting higher level characters. Say for instance level 65, Android 16 or something like that, and you unlock characters that you couldn't find in the story mode like Cell Junior, Cyberman, and all them uh, by beating these modes basically. Uh, these also can, it has an element where you get broken in and you will fight a mysterious fighter that has a higher power level than usual. Yeah, that's a great mode. Great, a lot of time you could spend in that game. You could level up and get a lot more health and attack. That helps your character a lot, especially for the characters that aren't in the Dragon World or aren't playable. Uh, uh, it also has a skill editing. I think the main thing that stands out about Budokai 3 than the other two Budokais or Infinite World was probably the new gameplay elements that they introduced. The Saiyan Overdrive fighting system, where basically you have the teleportation tornado combos, where basically after you send your opponent flying, you press O simultaneously about 3 times. They would pinball your opponent around, which is basically really cool. You could also dodge dodge an attack or an incoming attack by doing the front and X, which is basically teleporting behind your opponent, and you would strike them. This is a really great thing because I hated it so much in Budokai 1 and 2. You couldn't dodge a lot of stuff, and it was so stiff and hard. But now in this game, it just improved it. The ultimates have been improved. There are a lot more characters, including Super Saiyan 4, which is a great thing. They also have the blast collisions, the beam struggles. Those are really cool. And the main thing, the main thing that I cannot go without mentioning is the Dragon Rush mode, which is basically while you're fighting, you press L2, and you would like have a burst of power. And basically, what you could do with this is you could go in a certain mode where you start doing a lot of cinematic attacks towards your opponent, but it also has like a rock paper scissors effect where if you and your opponent press the same button, it will stop, but it will also have a cinematic type scene of them fighting, and it makes it really look like a real Dragon Ball Z experience, and is a really great addition to this game. They should have kept it in the other games, such as Infinite World. But in Rage and Blast 2, they had something like this, but it really wasn't on its level, and it really wasn't that good compared to this one. There are so many great things about this game that I would like to say, but that would take forever, and you would get bored. But I mean, there's so many really great things about this game. This is a must-buy for any like Dragon Ball Z fan. I would give this game probably a 9 out of 10, due to the fact that some characters didn't have ultimates. It still had its little stiffy blockiness to it, but it was pretty much perfect in all different aspects. There were some things about Budokai 1 and 2 that I wish that could have been in there, such as like the Super Dragon Fist moves, but also it made a lot of combos easier. The beam struggles were amazing. Everything looks cool. There are only minor problems in this game. Comment, subscribe to my next review.